Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, April 10th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I expand when I remember that I am powerful. And today we definitely have a few things going on. One of the big things is Mercury is preparing to shift out of Pisces. So Mercury has been in Pisces since the beginning of February. And if we remember, a lot of what's been going on this planet, at least for America and Europe, really started peaking in February time. So a lot of the unknown and like, whoa, what's going to happen? How do we move forward? A lot of that has been happening through this Mercury in Pisces period. So we're at the 29 degree today, that final degree. This is a degree to tune in, even if you are still in that fog, still in that unknown energy, and realize, one, there's a divine plan. Two, you're being guided. And three, your soul/higher self, they know what they're doing. And so sometimes we get fearful, we'll act rashly, but it's never about that. It really is about dropping deeper in and heeding that deeper guidance that is always there for you. But 29 degree Pisces, especially Mercury at 29 degree Pisces, reminds you of that. Besides that, the moon finishing up in Scorpio is meeting up with Mercury in Pisces. And so this is really great. That moon loves to unearth anything that is hidden. Pay attention to your dreams. And if you are somebody who does not remember your dreams, because I believe we all dream to some extent or another, if you are somebody who does not remember, daydreams work too, because it just takes us out of that analytical mind space that can be like, nonsense, cannot compute, nonsense, cannot compute. The universe is like, oh, human brain, there is so much more for you to learn, you know? So take some time into that daydream. So expanding in our power. That is definitely something we want to look at today. Between the moon finishing up in Scorpio, and then also Chiron and Lilith conjunct. Now I want to say something about this. The true Lilith energy, it oscillates. It does not move just like direct and retrograde. It's back and forth all over the place. True Black Moon Lilith is so yin in its chaotic pattern, which I like, because that's so Lilith of it to do it like that. So a lot of people look at the mean, which is kind of like the medium, the estimated, the average pattern of the Lilith energy. And so that's kind of different. I really like looking at the true pattern because I think it's part of her crazy dance, maybe not so crazy, that there is a plan. So, Lilith and Chiron together in Aries, hanging out at that 6th degree energy, finding our balance. And this is connecting in with Venus in Gemini. And so to me, this is indicating that the yin has something to say, and she must stand in her power and be willing to speak, be willing to be true to who she is. Now that Lilith energy is pushing you in there, and Lilith is interesting. I worked for an astrologer that said Lilith is rage, and my experience with Lilith is that the rage only comes after being suppressed for so long. So if you find yourself getting ragey throughout the day, you may want to question where maybe you have been suppressing yourself, where you have been suppressing your yin, where you've been suppressing those feelings, where you've been suppressing cat fur coming out of your nose, where you've been suppressing deep feelings or deep truths about who you are that want to come up for healing. But that Venus in Gemini energy is like, you're worth it, and express yourself in and through this. Do not hang back anymore. And let me just remind you, this is not just for anybody who identifies as female. We all have yin in us to some degree or another, and all of us is striving for some balance within us. So do listen to that energy coming up. Now, Moon in Scorpio connecting to Pluto, Jupiter, and looking at the wrong day, I'm like, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mercury is also saying, stand in your power, know who you are, own your power. That is very important in this energy, especially as it connects into that Pluto energy. To own our power, we also have to be very aware and own our darkness and our shadow. So that may be spiking up today a little bit as the moon in Scorpio connects to that Pluto energy. Jupiter's there and it's like, let me just make it a little bigger for you so you make sure that you see it. So be very aware that may be behind some of the feelings that are wanting to come up. And speaking of expressing yourself, journaling may be a great first round for getting it out, because it may just come tumbling out with some of that suppression energy pushing it up. So be aware of that. Then we have a shift. Moon will shift into Sagittarius. The moon will shift around 1:35 p.m. Pacific time. Moon in Sagittarius. Now, one part of me is like hopeful, like, okay, this will bring optimism and good for us. Yes, it definitely could, but it also can make us feel like trapped wild horses. Between the sun in Aries, moon in Sagittarius, the fire energy, our creativity energies are wanting to come out and flow. So do be aware that you need some kind of outlet for your creativity through this weekend, and through the adventure side of you, the active side of you, and again, this could even be done through the daydreaming. Mercury, 29 degrees Pisces, that can really serve you, but do be aware that that can be another thing that's like pushing those energies to express. Good or bad, I don't know, but it could come out like a volcano, so just awareness of that. Also, with the moon shifting into Sagittarius, we have a fast-moving yod pointing right at the North Node in Cancer. And that yod is saying, what do you need to feel right now? What needs nurturing right now? How can you tend to your life through ancestral patterns right now? How can you tend to your family? How can you tend to yourself? Where is nurturing and love and compassion and listening to your gut feels? Where does that need to come up now? So the moon in Sagittarius, and then Mars in Aquarius are feeding into this, and both of those energies are like, I don't know if I can slow down to tune in, but that's what's really required. That slowing down to tune in. Don't disregard what you're feeling, and don't optimistically like bulldoze over your feelings with that Sagittarius energy can do. And even Mars in Aquarius is like, but I want to feel the good vibes. You'll get there, but you got to deal with what's there. All right, so we've got that fast moving yod happening. We talked about Venus and Chiron, moon connecting to Saturn. It's more of that yod energy. This was coming up actually before I did the scope. I was thinking about the fact that we have the nodes preparing in a month to shift into the Gemini Sagittarius polarity, and I was just thinking how it's calling us to open up our minds. And I feel like the moon in Sagittarius connecting to Saturn and Aquarius is like, you know so much, it's so great that you know so much, and yet the truth is stranger than fiction. Keep your mind open to the vibrational things that are resonant to you out there. Don't just act like you know. And this has been a big thing through this. There's so many people, different groups who are like, I know that this is this, and I know that this is this, and I know that this is this. I stand in the corner and I was like, I feel like it has a piece of this, and 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 it's this like gigantic melting pot. How many things in our life are clear, cut, and dry? And how many things are melting pots? There are a lot more melting pots in our life than anything else. So stay open to that which resonates and tune in to what your purpose is, how you're being called to serve in the melting pot. Finally, Mercury will be shifting out of Pisces and into Aries at 9:48 p.m. Pacific time. I will be doing that scope tomorrow. It will be out before the shift happens. But do be aware, 29-degree Mercury can make wonky electronics, electrical technology things. My technology has been so wonky the last couple of weeks. So there's that. And 0 degrees also can be wonky. So just keep that in mind. along with having patience with all of the other fire energies that are going on with that. So that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.